Now we're going to draw a line based on the equation. We're going to be using the slope and the y-intercept. The first thing we need to do is make sure our equation is in the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And in looking at our equation here, we have f of x is equal to negative 5x plus 1. That is in slope-intercept form. So our m is our slope, and our slope here is negative 5. Since we need to have a fraction, we're going to make this whole number a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. So our slope is negative 5 over 1. And our b is our y-intercept. In this case it's 1. And if we wanted to make an ordered pair out of it, it would be 0, 1. And so now we have all the information we need to graph this line. We're going to start out with our y-intercept at 0, 1. So we're going to put a dot here at 0, 1. And then because our slope is negative 5, we're going to go down 5 and over 1 to the right. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So our second dot would go here. And that's all you need in order to graph a line. You just need the 2 points. So I'm going to connect these points and try to make a line as straight as possible here. We all know that I'm not an artist, but that's close enough to a straight line. Let's take a look at another example. How about if we have f of x is equal to 5 over 4x minus 3? So let's take a look and see if it's in slope-intercept form. We have y equals mx plus b. In this case we have minus 3, but it's still the same slope-intercept form of a line. Our m, we already have a fraction here, so our slope is 5 over 4. And our b is negative 3. So as an ordered pair, it would be 0, negative 3. So when I graph this, I'm going to graph my first point at 0, negative 3, which would be here. And I have a positive slope, so I'm going to go up 5 and over 4 to the right. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my second point would go here. And now to make my line, I'm just going to connect these points and keep going in the other direction. It's going to go on for infinity in either direction. And that's all you have to do to draw a line based on the equation. Let's take a look at another one. How about 5x minus y equals 5? Now in looking at this, it should be y equals mx plus b. This is not in that form. So what we need to do is rearrange the equation so that it is in the slope-intercept form of a line. So what that means is I need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract negative 5x from both sides so that I'm left with negative y equals negative 5x plus 5. I don't want negative y, I just want y. So I have to divide this negative 1 out of everything. So I'm left with y is equal to positive 5x minus 5. Now it's in slope-intercept form of a line. And my slope is 5 over 1. And my y-intercept is 0, negative 5. So now I have everything I need to graph it. So my 0, negative 5 would be here. And my slope is positive 5 over 1. So that means I'm going to go up 5 and over 1 to the right. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So my second point would be here. And then I just need to connect the dots and go in the other direction with it. Draw my arrows because it goes on forever in either direction. And that's how you graph that equation. Okay, let's take a look at one more. What if we have an equation like this? That's h of x is equal to x. H of x is the same thing as y. So we have the equation y equals x. So it is technically in the slope-intercept form of a line. Our slope is always the number in front of the x. And in this case it's 1. There's an understood 1 there. And if we make a fraction out of it, it's 1 over 1. What we don't have is a y-intercept. There's no number here at the end. So we're going to say our y-intercept is 0. So we're going to start at the point of origin, 0, 0. So our point's going to go here. And then our slope is 1 over 1, so technically we would just go up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. You only need 2 points, but I do this just to show you how to make the line straighter. The more points you have, the prettier you can make your graph look. And if I wanted to go in the opposite direction, I would go down 1 over 1 to the left. Down 1 over 1 to the left. That's the only time that you go to the left is if you're going backwards. Okay, and so you don't need, again, you don't need all of these points. I just did it to try to help me draw a straighter line. So it's going to look like this. This is what our graph would look like. And then on this particular equation in Blackboard, they also want you to determine what the domain and range is for this particular graph. So it goes on forever in each direction. So it's going to include all of the x's and all of the y's. So your domain is negative infinity, positive infinity, and your range is also negative infinity, positive infinity.